And I thank so much to all the faith leaders who have prayed for this family and supported them from day one. So thank you all for being men of God and women of God. Thank you. And I understand you wear another hat. You're also the president of the NAACP. Yes. So thank you for your leadership to that end as well, Bishop Stark. And I'm here very honored to be with my co-counsel, a great lawyer who worked for me when he was in law school. Now he's a big-time lawyer who does important work, and most importantly, he is a native son of Ocala, Florida, Attorney Anthony Thomas. And certainly to Attorney Natalie Jackson, who is always working behind the scenes, but she is an incredible civil rights lawyer. Let's give that sister a round of applause for her great work. To God be the glory. You know, Mark, one of the young people asked, and then it was followed by reporters. They said, so now that there's been an arrest, Attorney Crump, what are you going to say? And to Kima, I said, what are we going to say? We want justice for AJ. Yes. What are we going to say? We want justice for AJ. What are we going to say? We want justice for AJ. It's that simple. We are very grateful. We are thankful to Sheriff Woods for the arrest last night. Yeah. It brought great relief to Pamela Diaz and the family of A.J. Owens. We're thankful, as we said, to the faith leaders for praying and pushing for the arrest. But most importantly, I want to say thank you to the community and the activists, those young people in Ocala and all across America for saying we need swift justice, we need an arrest. So we thank Sheriff Woods and we thank the activists, because without the activists, we are mighty afraid this would have been swept under the rug. And you're going to hear from Pamela in a few minutes to talk about that great fear, that great concern that her daughter's life didn't matter when they didn't arrest her that first hour, then not the next hour, then not the next morning. No arrest for 24 hours. No arrest for 36 hours. No arrest for 48 hours. I mean, the hours must have felt like years to Pamela Diaz and her family. But we serve a God that sits high and looks low, and he kept ordering the steps of those community supporters and those activists, those co-workers who worked with Pam at McDonald's, who took the social media and would not stop talking about what an amazing person that A.J. Owens was. Amazing mother, amazing co-worker, amazing friend, amazing sister. We can never thank those local activists enough, and we have to thank these national strong women activists, these sisters. I mean, like Takima Robinson and Christy Henderson and Tamika Mallory and Teslin Figueroa and Angela Rye and Amanda Seals. I mean, so many amazing, strong black women said, no, if it could happen to A.J. Owens, it could happen to me too. And so we want to thank all these strong black women here and across America, because black women don't get enough recognition for helping uphold this country. And we especially want to thank her core supporters, her best friends, and the godmother of her children, who have been standing there with Pamela Diaz. And you're going to hear from Pamela, and every time she speaks, my heart just swells up, because this grandmother talks about her daughter a lot as if she's still here, but we know that she's gone, and she talks about how irreplaceable her daughter is to her grandchildren. But standing in the gap along with Pamela Diaz is the crew, I call them, our unofficial co-counsels, and that is natives here in Ocala who have been doing the petitions, the GoFundMe, calling the sheriff. I think the sheriff called for Attorney Thomas and I, but also called for Kim too. And so I want them just to stand and be recognized, the three young ladies who were her best friends while she's on this earth, and still her best friend now that she's up in heaven. Kim, Tarnisha, and Felicia, if you all would just stand and be recognized. And turn to the audience so they can give you your flowers. These are the real people who made it happen, the real people. And I know we have Otis Diaz, who is the brother of AJ, who will come with his mama in just a minute. Yeah, Otis, at least stand and be acknowledged. This is a strong young man who's been by his mother's side the whole time. And so we're very grateful to Sheriff Woods for making the arrest. We don't take that lightly. We don't take it for granted, because black people getting swift justice in America is not something that happens all the time. And even though we are bothered that it took 4 days, we understand because of archaic laws like stand your ground, it could complicate matters. But as Attorney Natalie Jackson reminded me, while we were watching the crawl on the Central Florida news feed, we saw that 2 black people were arrested and charged for shooting people. And we're almost certain they're gonna have a claim for self-defense too. But that then caused any delay in them being arrested and charged. So when white people shoot us, we don't want there to be a delay in being arrested and charged. And it's so important, y'all. It's so important, because we can't have this message being sent, Bishop Stockton, that it's okay to shoot black people in America for knocking on the door or ringing the doorbell. It's not okay. It's not allowed, but it sends the wrong message, America. I mean, we saw just a month ago the 17-year-old teenager in Kansas City, Ralph Yah, ring the doorbell and get shot in the head. And then we see Pamela knock on the door 4 or 5 times. I'm sorry, AJ, Pamela's daughter, knock on the door 4 or 5 times and then say, I know you hear me. And then Attorney Thomas, all the witnesses have told us, and then you hear a shot. Pamela falls at the side of her 9-year-old son with her 12-year-old son in close proximity. And there's no arrest. One of the main reasons I am so relieved that Sheriff Woods made that arrest last night is because it tells Pamela's children that it was not their fault. The law says it was not their fault. That's why I'm so relieved, because you can only imagine how confused they are right now. I think Pamela and Kim was sharing with me, and Valicia, that her 9-year-old son is feeling guilty, feeling like it's his fault. He wished he wouldn't have said nothing about the iPad, because then that means his mother would still be alive. And so today, we get to share with her children and try to make sure they understand that this senseless act of violence that killed their mother before their eyes was not their fault. It was not their fault. And we got to continue to tell them that they did nothing wrong. They had every right to be a child and play like kids. Black kids should not have a heavier burden because the color of their skin than white children just going to play in the field and just saying that we want to get our iPad back. They should not feel guilty for that. Their mother should not have been shot in the chest area for that through a locked metal door. And so that's why I am so relieved for the arrest. Before Attorney Thomas shares a few remarks with you, I would simply say this. We have to remember now, this is only the first step towards justice. The state attorney, now that Sheriff Woods has done his job, he has a job to do. And that is to zealously prosecute the killer of A.J. Owens. We want him to zealously prosecute the killer of A.J. Owens just like he would do if the roles had been reversed and you had a black woman shoot a white woman through a locked metal door and kill her in front of her children. We want the same justice. We don't want nothing extra, nothing special. We want the same equal justice for A.J. Owens. Nothing more, nothing less than justice for A.J. What do we got to say? Justice for A.J. What do we got to say? Justice for A.J. What do we got to say? Justice for A.J. Thank you. Attorney Thomas, a great lawyer, your native son.
Thank you, Mr. Crump. One more time, y'all. Justice for A.J. Thank you again. We were here on Monday, and thank you to those who are back today on Wednesday, because you heard us when we said, don't stop, come back, and you've answered that call. You see what happens when we come together in unity? We get results.
Amen. Amen.
My plea to you today is simply this: don't stop.
Amen.
Don't stop. The same energy that you have now, you may get tired, but don't stop.
Don't stop.
You may feel like doing something else, but don't stop.
Don't stop.
You may ask, how can I help? There are several different ways. We all don't have the same talents. Get the word out. Impress upon those in your neighborhoods about what we are here to do is get results and justice for A.J.
Amen.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Attorney Thomas. Now we want to hear from a city leader who has provided great leadership in the wake of this tragedy. And we know we're going to need his leadership going forward, but we want to acknowledge him for his leadership thus far and give him an opportunity to share a few words. That is City Councilman Ira Bethesda Sr. Y'all give him a big round of applause. Bethesda.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've been called a lot of things in my time, but Bethesda wasn't one of them. Hey, for the family to know, on behalf of this community, we are deeply saddened for your loss. We all have come together to support you. We will stay constantly engaged in this pursuit of justice. Yes. We're going to give God the glory. Yes. We're going to stand up for AJ. Amen. And folks, I hope you heard the Reverend Dr. Gamble when he shared with you that we have senseless violence, shootings in our communities. We have different organizations that are working to bring the community together. We need unity in our community. Again, ma'am, we just want the family to know that we are here to support you, and we will do everything we can to support this family and to make sure that these type of things is discontinued. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Councilman Ira Bethea. And we thank you for your leadership. He is the only African-American city councilman in Ocala, Florida, so we know that we need your voice. We're going to now have a very emotional remarks from the mother of A.J. Owens, who has been so dignified and graceful. Yes. So beautiful and so articulate and careful with her words, because I know I talked to my mother and other people said they couldn't be as graceful as her if somebody did that to their child. And so we applaud her for her grace and her dignity as she prepares for the homegoing services for her only daughter. And you know, it just, it's difficult for a parent to bury a child. That's right. It goes against the natural order of everything. She's only broken down once that I've seen, and that's amazing to me. She cried so hard when we found out there was going to be an arrest, because she had been trying so hard to keep it together for her grandchildren, to be strong for them. But we must have hugged Miss Pamela, 10 minutes, Kim, and she just cried and her body quivered, and I can only imagine what was going through her emotionally. The funeral services will be Monday. Reverend Al Sharpton will be delivering the eulogy at Immerse Church, where the pastor is Apostle Tuggerson at Immerse Church. Her and Reverend Al will deliver the eulogy on behalf of the family. at 12 noon, and we will keep you updated on that. Mark is so often in these tragedies, she still has to go pick out a dress and clothes for her daughter and so forth, something a parent never imagines doing. And then after that, she's gonna try to raise and fill the gap left behind by their mother for those 4 children, ages 3 through 12. And she is best to talk about them. As we call up, I want you all to do me a favor, because I think Councilman Bethea said it best. Now's the time to stand. We have to speak up for our children. We have to fight for our children, and we have to stand up for our children. So as she comes, y'all join me in letting her know we stand with AJ. 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 Yeah. First, we're going to hear from AJ's little brother, Otis Diaz.
I just want to thank everybody and the support that we're getting. I'm going to make this quick. When me and Ashika were kids growing up, my mother would work and we would spend most of our time outside. And I always told Ashika before she even realized it that she was going to be a great mother. She made sure that I was fed, treated correctly by anybody who disrespected me, stuck up for me. And I appreciate everybody and their contribution to this. It means a lot to me to see the support that we're getting. I do want to keep the children, my niece and my nephews, in everybody's prayers. And I want everyone to know that we're going to be all right. Thank you, everybody.
We stand with AJ.
We stand with AJ. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I am Ashika's mother. I gave birth to her, but I was not her only mother. Her mothers included Celestine Gray, Miss Ida Mae Collins, Christy Adderson, and the dear Miss Sarah Boyle, and so many more. I shared her with so many people because that's how special she was.
Wow.
Special. Heart of gold. Heart of gold. You may look at her and say, she didn't have much. She had it all.
Yes.
She had love.
Yes, ma'am.
She had compassion. She had 4 beautiful children.
Yes.
She raised them to be respectful, but most of all, spiritual. My 9-year-old, our 9-year-old, not my 9-year-old, our 9-year-old, who we believe was destined to be a pastor. That little boy would lay hands on you and pray for you. He witnessed his mother shot and killed. In his soul and his heart, it's his fault that his older brother, his baby sister, and his baby brother, as well as himself, will never see their mother again, because he went home and told his mother what this woman did to him. Our 12-year-old blames himself for the death of his mother because he couldn't save her. He couldn't give her CPR. His words was, "Grandma, Grandma, I couldn't save her. I tried to give her CPR, but I couldn't do, I tried to give her CPR." Our princess, who was a mini Ashika, will never feel her mother's arms around her, will never have her mother comb, wash, braid her hair again. And if you know, in the African community, those moments of doing hair is a bonding moment. Yes. Many lessons are taught as we sit and do our daughter's hair.
Amen.
Our 3-year-old toddler, who has no idea what's going on, only that he has not seen his mother. He'll never feel his mother's kiss, his mother's arms wrapped around him, his mother bathing him. That's all been taken away for the senseless act of this woman shooting and killing their mother because she knocked on the door Many may ask, what's next? What happens next? As I lay in my bed at night, I ask myself, I pray to God, what is next? What is going to happen? I pray that God gives me the strength, the wisdom, and the ability to raise these children as our daughter would have us to do. But I thank God that I don't have to do it alone.
We stand with you.
These three amazing, beautiful, and I'm not talking about physical, because we see that. I'm talking about here. There are people who say, there are people who do. These women say, they do, they do, they do, and they do. They are not my daughter's friends. To me, yes, they were her friends. They still are. But we are family. We are family. Kim, Felicia, Tarlisa. I thank you. I thank you. Ladies, I thank you. To all of the community, to the leaders behind me, each and every one of you that is here, those who are not, Ocala, Marion County, Florida, United States, I am calling on you to not fail those those four children.
Yes, ma'am.
Do not fail Ashika. Do not fail AJ. Do not fail your friends, your family, your daughters. We don't know how long this is going to take. But we can't grow tired. We cannot be weary. Please, please do not let my daughters die in vain.
Amen.
Please do not let those four beautiful babies losing their mother go in vain.
Not on our watch. Amen. Amen.
The days ahead are going to be long and hard and tedious, both for you and I, and most of all, those children. They have needs beyond needs. They are no longer the typical 3-year-old. They are no longer the typical 8-year-old. No longer the typical 9, 10-year-old or 12-year-old. Witnessed their mother murdered in cold blood, taking them away at such an early age. So unfair. So unfair. This is not fair. It is not fair that they have to deal with this. It is not fair that their grandmother, whom they love, has to be the one to kiss and hold and wipe away those tears. They want their mother to do that. I am very happy to do it, but I wanted to do it in a grandmother's role, but not as the caretaker, because my daughter was cold-blooded, murdered.
Do you want to say a word about the arrest?
So yes, I am grateful for an arrest. Very disappointed that it took 4 days, honestly. When is it okay in America to shoot someone behind a locked door? When is that okay? Why did it have to take 4 days? but nonetheless, it happened. And I'm very grateful that it did.
Justice for AJ.
AJ.
Justice for AJ. Justice for AJ.
Justice for AJ. One more thing, please. That's one of the things that I struggle with, calling names, because you tend to forget. I cannot, or you may leave someone out, and I cannot go on without thanking Ms. Takima.
Come on up.
Thank you.
Come on up.
We're going to try to take some of your questions now, if you have any. Hey, Kurt.
The charge is manslaughter and some other ones. It seems murder might be more appropriate. What's your opinion about that?
Well, certainly, we think the state attorney has, in his prosecutorial discretion, the right to examine all the evidence and increase the charges to murder or murder two. And so I know from the family's standpoint, they want to make sure that she is charged to the fullest extent of the law for what she took from them. From what she took from them. So we're thankful to the community and the activists for saying just that, Kurt. And understand this, Attorney Thomas and I and Attorney Jackson, we often talk about this because some people don't understand how the process works, how the administration of justice, the police charge with what they recommend. It is the state attorney who has the final say in what charges will be brought. So we should all let the state attorney know if you feel he should be looking to increase the charges. That is why you all elected him. So.
One last thing on call. This would go for a grand jury.
Yes, it's going to go before a grand jury. And so, again, state attorney name,
Bill Gladson.
State Attorney Bill Gladson. We want to make sure that you zealously prosecute this case. When you go before that grand jury, we want you to go with the strongest case you got for AJ. The strongest case. We don't want you to go with a willy-nilly case because the evidence is strong. I mean, have you all seen that door with that bullet hole through it? Yeah, it's real. You know, you do enough of these things and withstand your ground, you think about the hole in Trayvon Martin's hoodie, and you look at that hole in the door and it just say, how many more? How many more? These senseless acts of violence. We can't have a society that settles all of our differences with violence, with guns. We're better than that. We're better than that, America.
You got one more question.
You're welcome. Sorry for the family's loss. Do you see anything on the horizon as far as civil action against this defendant?
Well, the family will explore every possible legal remedy that is available to them. But right now, first and foremost, let it be clear where Pamela and the family and the support want most is a conviction. That's what they want, a conviction. That's what that arrest meant, a first step to having accountability. Yes, ma'am, Valerie. Y'all step up. I want you to see them all because it takes a village.
Absolutely.
This is the village. You want to say the children's names and ages and
Absolutely. Isaac Williams, age 12. Israel Owens, age 9. Africa Williams, age 8. Titus Owens, age 3.
And Pam, if, you know, her 12-year-old son was so courageous in the aftermath. I mean, him going knocking on everybody's door, asking, can you call 911? My mother's been shot. Can you please call 911? I mean, for him to keep it together is something that I'm sure AJ is proud of, that he was able to gather his brothers and sisters because their caretaker had been shot, so, yeah. Kim, you want to say something?
I just want to, first,
Say, Kim, say your whole name. For
it's Kimberly Robinson Jones. I think people were here on Monday and they know who I am and how I'm a part of, Adjika's village. But I want to speak to someone who else is in the audience that has been pivotal in helping this case. Phyllis, if you can stand up. She was one that was on the scene with AJ when this night happened. So we thank you, we thank you, we thank you.
Come on up, Phyllis, if you would. Come on up. They want to know who's going to take care of the children. It's a village.
Lawrence, we thank you for being here for the kids. Come up here.
Thank you so much for that, Kim. And Lawrence, who is Phyllis's son, also 12 years old, when you see that Ring video and you see those kids, it is just heart-wrenching. Him saying, she just shot my mama. And Lawrence trying to help his friend as they are frantically knocking on doors saying, call 911. And then he called his grandmother and his uncle and his aunts. I mean, he was calling everybody saying, get here, they shot my mama. And they asked about the other children. He was just an incredibly courageous little boy saying, I got them, but I can't save my mama. And yeah. Any other questions?
Mr. Crump, and thank you, Jeremy, for your time. How hopeful are you that we will see a conviction here?
Based on the evidence, we are very convinced that we will see a conviction. This isn't a hard case. This is not a difficult case. You know, I continue to say we try to make cases difficult when it's black lives that are laying on the ground. They talked about how difficult George Floyd case was, you know, how difficult Ahmaud Arbery case was. Then now they say these things, but the reality is, if the roles were reversed and you had a black woman shoot a white woman through a locked metal door, nobody would say it's a difficult case. It is a simple case. The only question is, are we going to give AJ the same respect, the same dignity, and the same